patience, you guys, and Tim Skaggs. Today on Comic Spot, we are here at Comic Spot, which is where this military veteran here gets to vet out veterans of comedy. Today we have Tim Skaggs, and not only is he a veteran of comedy, he's a veteran sports writer. That's what he used to do. So we're here to honor his life and to ask him some questions from his life and have you get to know him off stage, behind the mask, so to speak. I know it's about timing, but he doesn't have his mask on and he doesn't need to. Anyway, let me read his bio before I introduce you to Tim Skaggs. Here's a few things he said that I could say, and I quote, either after or before, wait a minute. At my age, they don't give out participation trophies. No, that's not it. Never mind, you don't even want to know what that is. Tim and I have an inside joke on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to go to where you gave me an intro. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go, folks. Tim Skaggs is a former professional sports writer. Do you understand the severity of that? We're not talking fly-by-night hack. No, he's professional that took up comedic performance after the internet came along and ruined his first career choice. He performs in all areas of comedy and has ads open for absolutely nobody that's actually famous. I like the honesty. His hobbies include jaywalking, we have that in common, sleeping late, and attempting to be the face of his comedy franchise, which is what we call Facebook. Tim performs improv, storytelling, stand-up comedy as a means of staying connected with his fellow man, which also means women don't get upset.
Yeah.
His comedy voice is centered around his Charlie Brown persona, being bullied growing up with 3 older brothers and race relations. When there's no pandemic ruining the entertainment scene, he performs semi-regularly in San Antonio, Austin, and surrounding areas. So let's welcome, with a big round of applause, the amazing person who is Tim Skaggs. Welcome him, you guys. Woo!
That's here about amazing, but hey, I have to ask you a question before we even get started. Is that Sinbad behind you?
It is. Sinbad.
I was in a movie with him.
No way. What was the name of the movie you were in with him?
Yeah, I'm making fun of the fact that a lot of times comedians they'll pad their bios. I was an extra in a really bad movie he made called Necessary Roughness about football.
Yes.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, so, well, but that's how you hear comedians say sometimes. I was in a movie with Sinbad.
Exactly. Or I opened for somebody because he came in 3 hours after I left.
Yeah, exactly. And so that that just goes along with that joke about I've opened for absolutely nobody that's famous, right? I was in a movie with Sinbad. He doesn't even know, he doesn't remember, but.
Yes, I love your honesty, and that's a brilliant intro you wrote.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks for coming here today to Comic Spot. I like to celebrate people's lives and their comedy trajectory.
I think we're going to get along very well. Yeah, thank you.
Super. Talk to me about growing up, maybe not knowing you were funny and holding down a normal, regular job as a daytime sports writer and Superman at night. I don't know what you did, but how did you grow up, go into sports writing, and then comedy? I find that interesting.
Thanks. Well, so the theme that keeps coming back to my life is that I grew up with the 3 older brothers, and of course they all played sports. So I played football, and then when I got in junior high, we moved to a different place. Right before junior high, we moved to a different place, and football was really big there. And so by the time I got to be a senior in high school, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. I had a class I had to fill. And I was like, that journalism thing, are they doing that? And it's like, yeah, that's 5th period. You want it? Okay, sure. And so what I discovered, because, I didn't want to get a real job, right, was that a Well, I love sports, and I already knew a lot about the area and what was going on. And so I worked at a small newspaper for a little while, just as a correspondent. And I always joked that that newspaper was open just long enough for me to get enough experience and one connection that helped me get correspondence work at at the Fort Worth Star Telegram, which was the Daily Metro there. And then from there, we just took off. I worked part time, sometimes full time, sometimes back and forth. Sometimes I had side jobs when I wasn't working full time. And so as I was writing, sometimes people would say, you put colorful, funny quotes in your stories. And I guess it's just because I could see the humor of a situation, and feature stories are what I like writing the best. And so
What's a feature story, Tim?
a feature story is like, well, you're doing a feature on me right now. Basically, is when you hone in on a certain person and you just tell their story.
Got it.
And if you can hear my cat back there, he's not very, very happy.
Do you have to tend to him? I'll wait.
No, he's just that's who he is. But through that, I liked doing artistic things, and I felt like I had a pretty good sense of humor, and I thought that I'd always been kind of able to make my friends laugh and stuff. So to fill the void of not being able to write every day, then I just started writing down funny thoughts. And one day my wife caught me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to write some jokes and try and sell them to other people." But then she was talking about we needed to get away, and I said, "Well, let's go up to Austin and stay for a couple of days." And she wanted to do that too. So I was like, "Hey, I had seen, this is how I got into comedy. Of somebody that I knew that was on Facebook posted a set that they'd done, and I was like, I could do that. That doesn't look hard at all." And of course, it never looks hard when you see somebody else doing it. And so when we were going to make this trip up to Austin, I was like, I heard about this comedy club. Can we go and maybe visit it? And they're having an open mic night. And so when I went there, I just foolishly thought, oh, I'll walk in and they'll let me get on. And but they were like, well, you have to sign up. And so then I talked to the bartender and the guy that sets it all up. And this is like a famous place on 6th Street in Austin that's been there for years and years. And so he said, well, you know what? If you want to drive back up here, because we were living quite a ways away, he said, if you want to drive back up here, I'll give you 3 minutes. So the next minute, he put me up first out of 30 people. I did my 3 minutes. I got one laugh, and I was like, I like this. This is fun. Let's do it again.
Oh my gosh. And how long ago was that?
About 8 years ago, I think.
What was the name of the club? Are you willing to say?
Any other time I could tell you, but all of a sudden I can't remember the name of the club.
That's okay.
Because somebody's asking me. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. And I haven't been there in a long time.
I get forgetful, and I wonder why they don't have Alzheimer's walks in a cul-de-sac, but
yeah,
I haven't figured that out. So I was wondering, you got up on stage, and how has the career treated you? What are some highs and lows and wisdom you have?
Yeah. Hang on just 1 second.
Sure. Has to tend to this cat, I bet. Look at that beautiful wall color. It's so pretty. Wouldn't I look pretty in a dress that color? I think it would accentuate my blue eyes.
Remember I had that Charlie Brown persona? So of course the cat has been quiet the entire day. And as soon as I start doing an interview, he's like, meow, 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 meow. So I think hopefully he'll be quiet now.
He's chiming in.
Yeah. Oh, so you were asking me how's the comedy scene treated me? I think it's kind of funny because
to be brief, like something good, something bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've been just very lucky that I've gotten to do a lot of different things. Like I got to tell a comedic story in a big storytelling contest or a big storytelling show, that's pretty well known in Austin. I've gotten to do shows. I've been able to branch out and do other things like, so I don't do just stand up,
No,
I
I was
also
going to
do
get
like,
to that. You're
yeah,
not a
sure.
one-trick pony.
um, but I guess I'm kind of like this. I have this sort of unique in between sort of thing, at least how I see it is, people either say you're either a career person or you're a hobbyist. And I kind of see myself as something that's kind of neither, because I'm not necessarily trying to do it for competitive reasons.
Right.
Um, and I'm not necessarily trying to make a career out of it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I wouldn't really call myself a hobbyist either. Um, and the reason is because this is something I plan on doing for the rest of my life. Uh, and I want to get um, can you hear him back there?
Ah, but it's okay. It's not distracting.
That's okay. I'm going to put him in the other room. Hang on.
All right.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. It's hard when you have a child or an animal. It's really hard. I get it. I have cockroaches every once in a while. One day I was doing an interview. In the middle of the interview, a cockroach crawled up my arm. It was the most horrendous thing ever. I'm like, I'm so out of here if this doesn't stop.
Okay.
All righty. Now the cat's
Can we
been
edit,
taken
can we
care
edit
of.
that part out? I'm sorry.
Tell me about all the things you do besides comedy, Tim. You do
Sure.
acting, improv. You've been in shows. You do acting, improv.
Yeah.
And what else?
So, well, let me just kind of tell you in chronological order how some of this stuff happened. Was that I was doing stand up for a long time, and I started to feel kind of stale, and I had seen some other people doing some other stuff. And so I just made this pact one day, and I said, for the next year, anything that's offered to me, I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
And so the first thing that came along was a storytelling show. Well, it was a class that was going to have a show at the end. So I signed up, yes. And from that, a guy I knew that was teaching the class, I saw him doing some improv. And then a friend of mine in San Antonio said, hey, I'm doing some improv. You want to sign up for an improv class? Yes. So then I started doing some improv shows at a place called Bear Stage. And then from there, he said, I'm doing a mystery dinner show called Dinner Detectives. You want to do that? Yes.
Wow.
And then somebody said, I'm teaching a defensive driving class, or I own a defensive driving class place, and I need somebody to teach some classes. Would you like to do that? Yes.
That's great.
And so eventually I was doing so many things at the same time that I had to cut a couple of them out. So the defensive driving class, I was like, I can't teach that anymore.
Yes.
But one of the things I really like the most is the Dinner Detectives, because you're actually interacting with the audience the entire time, and they're trying to figure out who you are and are you part of this whole thing.
Yes, I love that.
And sometimes I would be the killer, and so I would get to make little jokes. The guy would be going, this guy's got to be around here somewhere, and I'm the waiter reaching over. I'm going, well, you never know, sir. He could be here anywhere. And then afterwards.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So
this particular interview needs to be 15 to 20 minutes. So
okay.
I love what you have to say, and we haven't even scratched the surface.
No, we haven't.
I want you to come back in August or September, and I'll send you an invite the minute I get off the phone here. Also, anywhere you want people to follow you, shout it out now and then type it and send it to me so I can cut and paste it and not make errors.
Okay.
Where would you like traffic?
Sure. Wow. This went by really fast, didn't it?
It did. Some of the time is me just being online. So it's not, we still have a couple of minutes and I have one more question at the end.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me at Twitter at Skaggs74.
What was that?
Skaggs74. It's but it's Skaggarock. Skaggarock. SKAGGLEROCK 74 at Twitter. And I'm also in the process of setting up a podcast that I'm going to do with a couple of friends of mine called Two Nerds and a Comedian. So look for that. And that's the main thing that I want to promote today.
Be sure and type all of that and send it to me so I can put it on this post.
Absolutely.
This is going to come out in just a plain interview, like two people on a screen. And then in a couple days, I'm going to send you the edited version, which it looks like a sitcom. Our content doesn't get edited, but things go on it, like music and credits and artwork. So when that comes out, will you please share that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Please send me all your links where you want traffic, Tim.
Absolutely.
So now you're a graduate of the Comic Spot. So that means you can come back anytime you have something to promote. And here's your final parting question, and there's no parting gifts. I'm sorry. Okay. So the final question is, we're going through our very first pandemic. We did not get a manual on how to do this. If you could go back to day one of the pandemic, what would you do differently and why?
I would learn on the very first day how to use Zoom. How to use Zoom. And I think I would have started that podcast right away just to keep my name out there and to keep myself busy, because I think that a lot of us looked around and we were thinking, well, maybe this is going to last, 30, 60 days. I thought maybe until June, maybe until July at the most. And so I guess I started working on projects around the house thinking, okay, well, I got a little hiatus here. I might as well, what John Travolta did when he didn't have any movies going, right? He learned how to fly. I was like, well, I think I'll just take care of my house for a while.
Exactly.
He kind of took his cue.
Yes.
Just try to enjoy a little bit of the time off.
Yes, and God bless John Travolta right now with what he's going through.
Yeah, I saw the news today. Kelly Preston. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah.
So I want your links so I can cut and paste them accurately, and then I will talk to you about an August or September time when you can come back and plug anything or do some more talking about your life. 15 minutes. I'm limited by T-Mobile hotspot. I can't get Wi-Fi up in this place, so it's very expensive. So I have to do it monthly.
If you're like me, I learn what I have to learn about technology, and the rest of it, I'm just like, because it's very intimidating to me.
So intimidating. I'm trying, but I should have planned to have a 4-year-old right now, because then I'd be in such a great position. I could just have the 4-year-old do it. Thank you so much, Tim. Tim Skaggs, everybody. Don't you love him? He's going to come back because he's got more to say.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you. Thanks for serving up jokes.
There you go. I wish I had more time to talk, and we should do this again. And I look forward to getting to know you a little better.
Likewise, I will send you a message, and I want all your links too. Like I said, and the pro version will be out in a day or two.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tim Skaggs.
Thank you, Miss Smith.
Bye.
Good to talk to you.
Everybody's talking at the comic spot. The comic spot.